Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. We're going to get started very shortly. Great. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Welcome to the last webinar of the year for Ardoq. We are so pleased you are here with us. And we hope you're winding down for the holidays soon and looking forward to taking some time off. We have had an incredible year here at Ardoq, especially with our Team AI and their deployment velocity. So we are so pleased to share with you today the top 10 AI capabilities EAs will rely on in 2026 to accelerate value, increase accuracy, and reduce manual work. These are features that are live in Ardoq today or on roadmap, and you will be able to use very soon. So we're going to be showing you real demos so you can see the outcomes of these AI capabilities at work. It's going to be a very fast-paced webinar because there's a lot to show and very little time. Just some quick housekeeping before we start. If you're joining us live today, you're going to be able to download and access supporting resources about these AI features directly in the Zoom resources tab. Now, if you look down at your navigation in Zoom, everyone's is set up a bit differently depending on if you've customized it, but you should see a button that says resources. If not, click on the three dots that say more and you'll find resources there. If you're watching the session on demand, the resources can be found on our website under resources, or you can just Google Ardoq and the feature name and you'll find something on it. Great. So before I start, and before we jump into the content, just let me introduce some of the speakers today. So first up, we have Nicholas Boyd from our product marketing team. Nicholas leads our go-to-market strategy for process and integration capabilities with a particular focus on how AI is reshaping those workflows. He's worked across multiple AI and automation launches this year, and he's going to be kicking us off with modeling and ingestion, how modeling and ingestion are evolving in 2026. Next, we have Jason Baragry, our Chief Enterprise Architect here at Ardoq. Jason leads the internal architecture at Ardoq, but also our innovation strategy around AI. With more than 20 years of global experience across enterprise and solutions architecture, he brings a unique perspective on where this discipline is headed and how AI is unlocking a new level of value alignment. So Jason's going to be walking us through most of the innovations today. And I am your host today, Ashima, from the product marketing team. I help articulate our AI narrative and lead launches for AI feature rollouts. So without further ado, I'm going to pass it over to Nicholas.
Thank you so much, Ash. AI is really changing how EA teams get architecture into Ardoq. And today, a lot of the most valuable architecture knowledge is still stuck in visuals, either it be whiteboard photos, PDFs, screenshots, or exports from diagram tools. And the slow part is always the same. Someone has to manually rebuild it into a model before it's usable. And here's where Ardoq's AI visual importer comes in. AI removes that translation gap, whereby the AI reads the visual, identifies the components and the relationships, and turns it into structured Ardoq data. And to quote a customer of ours who's been using this functionality for quite some time now, they were able to cut down work that used to take several days to just a few minutes by leveraging the AI visual importer. And the importer really gives you three big wins. First of all, AI accelerates capture, whereby AI does the first pass in seconds, so you as architects can spend time validating and improving and not redrawing. Second of all, AI reduces the drift. Manual rebuilds introduces changes, whereby AI starts from the real artifact so that the model stays aligned with what stakeholders initially agreed on. And lastly, AI gets you to analysis faster. Once AI structures the data, you can immediately explore dependencies, compare options, and assess change impact without waiting weeks. So the AI visual importer really turns architecture visuals into architecture intelligence, faster to capture, less drift, and quicker decisions. Next slide, please. So the second one is Ardoq ShiftX. This is really one of the biggest accelerators I'm seeing for EA teams in 2026. AI-powered process modeling fully embedded into Ardoq. With Ardoq ShiftX, we remove the friction of needing to connect outdated process maps or process models with your architecture by having it all in one place, ensuring that processes are connected to architecture from day one. There's three main wins with this. First of all, AI gets you from idea to usable processes fast. You can either model from scratch when you want the precision, or you can describe it in natural language when you want speed, or you can easily just drop in an image or an audio file from a meeting and let AI read the flow and generate the process map right away. Second of all, AI turns process work into something EA can actually run with and not just document. When AI helps you create and process and keep processes current, you can use them for what matters in 2026. Either you're doing transformation planning, you're planning some rationalizations, or you want to plan for better prioritization. And thirdly, AI keeps process and architecture connected, so you don't lose the traceability. I'm sure many of you have probably wondered why you have process on one side and architecture on the other. Well, with Ardoq ShiftX, you have them in one place, and you can better answer questions like which apps support this process or this process step. Where are the risks if we remove this application? What processes are being impacted or what breaks? And with that, you can easily explain the impact, dependencies, and trade-offs with confidence. So now I thought we'd jump straight into a demo. If I just can share my screen here. Let's see. There we go. I hope everyone can see my screen now.
Yeah.
So this is Ardoq ShiftX. I'm going to open up the editor. Here on the left-hand side, you can see generate with AI. Today, we're going to just add in a process here, and we're going to send it straight through. So you have the possibility of either using some ready-made prompts, or you can describe the process in natural language, upload a photo like I just did, or you can also add in an audio file. And right away, AI is reviewing the added content and creating the process. Let me see while this is working its way through. So in just a few minutes, we've been able to map out the process. Let's also add in applications. And since this is connected to Ardoq, Ardoq ShiftX also sees your application repository, your people repository, making sure that your processes are tightly aligned to what's happening in Ardoq as well. That's everything from me. You can easily see how quickly you can go from mapping out a process to having it ready and having it all connected in one place.
Thanks, Nicholas. That looks so easy to use that even I could do it. All right, let's move on to our next speaker, Jason. Jason, take it away.
Thanks, Ash. Good on you, Nicholas. Thanks, mate. Hey, everyone. So working in AI and Ardoq, as you can imagine, we have 1,001 different ideas sitting on the backlog. So what we're going to talk about today is the things that we've started working on that are already in the product, things that are coming out in the near future, but also the direction in which we're heading. And what we really need during this process is your input. So if you're a customer, please jump onto Product Board and go into Ardoq Labs looking at AI, look at the different things we're working on. Please let us know which things you think are most important for you. Because what you're going to see today, we think the way that people need to get started, people need to use AI to bootstrap how they're working in an EA tool, because it is time consuming to get data in. It's time consuming to connect information up. So it's doing that bootstrapping, it's doing the quality analysis, it's making it as easy as possible to consume and navigate the information. And then we start moving into how can we reimagine EA in terms of improving techniques, as well as moving towards at least the Ardoq vision of using enterprise architecture as a basis of a digital twin to be making decisions about the company. So as a starting point, we've been working on how can you get information into Ardoq. It should be easy to say, look, this is my company, this is what we do. Based on that, you could generate a value proposition for your company, which in turn can be used as a seed for generating a set of value streams for your company. And then if you jump to the next one, please, Ash. Those value streams can be used as the point of reasoning for AI to then say, well, what is a sensible capability map for my company? And for that capability map, can you automatically generate the connections up to value streams? Can you automatically create the connections into the org chart of the company? Can you automatically create the connections from the application portfolio? And that way we can help organizations ramp up, just bootstrap from a very simple starting point to having enough information, having a critical mass of information that can be used to really start driving the value of what your architecture team can do for your company. And every single part of that step, we want you in the loop, we want human in the loop to approve what's happening with AI to make sure it's all okay. So that's a starting point. Bootstrapping how you can work with an EA tool to start getting value. And if we go to the next one, we start looking into how can we start navigating and make using the information in the easiest possible way. So one thing where we released about 2 hours ago is a beta version of the chat interface into Ardoq. So our AI chat assistant, much like our MCP server, it's starting with a limited set of functionality, which is all about how can I query and manipulate data in reports. But the way we do that, just using that limited set of functionality where we're creating all the infrastructure under the covers where we can, again, much like the MCP server, add additional features to the chat interface over time. So we're starting by looking at single reports that'll move into being able to do analysis across reports, looking at dashboards and viewpoints, and then being able to manipulate data through the chat interface. So it may seem very simple to look at one report, but if we show this little demo, you can start with very simple queries. How many of these things lack this or that particular data in a column, which is very simple. But one of the issues we see customers have is enterprise architects have a great deal of objectives they want to achieve, but often the quality of the data is quite poor that they're bringing in from different places. And the amount of work that's needed to improve that quality is just too high. So this could be a place where you could do that. It's not just saying, well, how many objects or how many applications does Bob own in the organization? But you could say, where do we have applications where the cost of the application and the business criticality of the application aren't correlated? That's the kind of inference work we can get from AI models now when you're simply looking at sets of data to improve the quality of the data. So that's the AI assistant that's been released today, and then we'll start moving beyond that. The next set of features we have is how can you save time doing work with an EA tool? You shouldn't be held back by an EA tool. It shouldn't be a pain to work with it. It shouldn't be so time consuming. But often the data is very complicated to work with. So now we're about to release. How can you use natural language queries to generate advanced queries in reports in Ardoq? So generating these advanced queries, there's lots of point and click in order to get the configuration you need. So now we'll have natural language queries, which will generate that for you. And that same concept, I can say, I should be careful about saying this out loud. We'll be doing the same thing for generating Gremlin in Ardoq as well. So that's already working internally. We're just in the process of productizing that, and you'll hear more about that early in the new year. So you can use natural language to generate advanced analysis algorithms under the covers, which can get you access to more information faster. And if we go to the next one. So that's getting that analysis, and that's very much things we're doing right now. If we start looking further forwards, what we see is that, again, as I mentioned earlier, organizations often struggle with the quality of their data, and you can use our chat interface to start asking about individual things, but it'd be much better if you had agents that were just watching and monitoring Ardoq, looking for information of poor quality, and then either fixing it automatically or informing you so that you can do the change or just approve the change. And that can be as simple as looking for duplicates which are coming in from external organizations. It can be looking at correlations. For example, do you have applications where the business criticality and the service level are not correlated? And then based on that, it informs you of where you should be making changes so that you as an architecture team can be continuously improving that data quality and making it more useful for you. So that's something we're experimenting with right now. You can go into Ardoq Labs and have a look at the progress. And then the next one, Ash. We have a whole lot of features which we're hearing from customers in all the interviews we have of what they would like to see. And one of those is, well, how can you help us do architecture at scale? How can you help us move faster? One of those examples is, look, if you have an architecture repository, you should have reference architectures in there. You should have patterns, solution patterns. You should have architecture decision records. You should have some technical debt information. And you should have architecture reviews of things that you have in your organization already. Wouldn't it be great if you could take initiative descriptions for prioritization, new software project descriptions, and based on that description, look at the different parts of the organization where it would impact. Look at the different, is it front end facing? Is it back end facing? Is it more integrating with external systems? And based on that content, pull out the relevant reference architecture patterns, decision records, and use that information to generate a starting point for solution architects to work and make sure that they're working in a way that conforms with the principles that you want to have at the top portfolio level as an enterprise architecture team. So this is something we're exploring right now, and we'll hope to show you more about that during 2026. And if we look even further forward, we in Ardoq have a goal to use Ardoq as the basis of a digital twin of the organization. So you have a knowledge graph representation of both the architecture information, the business architecture, the application architecture, tech and data. You combine that with operational KPIs of what's happening in the company, and you use that to take automatic decisions. So an example about that we've been experimenting with, if we jump to the next one, Ash. Imagine in Ardoq, you're bringing in KPIs from process mining. So you're looking at, say, order handling processes in your company. You're looking at how many of those processes get pushed into manual activities instead of being fully automatic because of some problem that's happening in IT. And we know that if you're working in IT, one of the problems you face is that there's far more demand than there is capacity to do work. There's always something where different parts of the organization are saying, hey, can you prioritize fixing this and making this process better and the next one? But you don't know which ones you should prioritize fixing. So could we use AI to do automated root cause analysis of some of these process KPI problems? So looking at a degradation in a KPI to say, hey, there's a problem here. And then you know those KPIs are connected to business processes. You know in your architecture repository, those processes are connected to software and hardware infrastructure. You know that you can bring in incident reports on that software and hardware. You have, hopefully, you have architecture reviews, you have technical debt analysis, you have integrations between all those things. And if you have all that information, then you can use AI to detect the change in the KPIs. It can automatically traverse the processes that are impacted to the IT and the quality analysis that you've already done as architects to go through and say, hey, there is a correlation here between issues that we either see at runtime with incidents or things that we think might happen because of our architecture reviews and technical debt analysis and risk assessments that we've done previously. And based on that, it can recommend this is the kind of problem that you should be able to fix. Right, and we have another one too about the opposite. Can you track how projects that you've implemented and the IT that you've changed are supporting processes, and you can see the improvement in KPIs on those processes. And that way you can see you're actually getting value for money for the IT changes that you're making. You're doing the benefit realization. So this is an experiment that we've done. You can, again, go into Ardoq Labs, go to see more of the details about this. And it gives you an indication of the kind of things we're working on in Ardoq to push the industry forward. So not just how can I draw a better model, how can I generate more information, though that is a very important stepping stone, but we're all doing it because we want to get to this larger goal, which is how can we use architecture to drive how a company executes in a better way. I think now I'm handing it back to Ash.
Thanks, Jason. And last but definitely not least, we want to talk about our MCP server integration, or AI gateways that we're calling it here. We are proudly first to market with this frontier integration from our technical preview to our general availability. So we're really, really proud of that. It's part of Team AI's innovation velocity here at Ardoq. And this is a secure way to let AI tools like Claude, Teams Copilot, Google Gemini, or any other custom AI tool access architecture data and insights safely, but with guardrails. So, I mean, the impact of this has been huge. We have a ton of customers already using it and giving us positive feedback on this. One of the impact is the business stakeholders are getting faster answers through the AI assistants that they already use. So if your company has deployed Teams Copilot across the board, and your C-suite and various business stakeholders are using that to get their work done, now they can actually access the value of the EA intelligence and the EA insights that your team is delivering in a natural language way. And it's more direct. They don't have to wait for you to set up a meeting, and they'll start pulling you into things as they see the value of this. Architects stay in control of what the AI can access and cannot access. So, you can rest assured of that. And we have found with our customers that the EA is becoming an enterprise-wide intelligence layer with MCP server versus, again, just like when you're a standalone team, one of your most critical limitations is the time you have and that you can give to everybody. But if you can democratize access to all of your insights and your reports and dashboards, you will have compounding effect across the organization. So this has been a crowd pleaser. So we definitely saved it for number 10. And just finishing off, wanted to talk to you about, what's actually different about Ardoq when it comes to AI. We know every vendor out there has an AI roadmap and is investing in AI. So here are the things that we're really proud of. So first, we're the only EA vendor investing fully across what we're calling the tri-stack of governance, discovery, and automation, right? We're investing heavily in all of these areas. Sometimes you'll see vendors just invest in visibility of AI, and not governance. But if you come to Ardoq, you rest assured you're going to get this tri-stack covered. We don't treat AI as a bolt-on feature. It's a platform evolution here. Secondly, we're consistently first to market with frontier innovations. I just mentioned MCP. We were first to market with our technical preview and our general availability. AI Lens, our governance management solution, that was also a really, really big hit this year. And AI-powered modeling accelerators, some of them you saw today. These aren't just experimental for us. It's core to the platform, and we're very proud of them. Third, if you don't know Ardoq, we are graph-based, and graph plus AI architecture, it's a unique synergy. We could probably do a whole webinar on this, and we probably should one day. It gives you more explainable, context-aware outputs than the diagram tools can. It's simply a core differentiator, and we're going to continue to double down on it. And finally, there is no hidden AI costs with Ardoq. So we don't do the consumption-based pricing, caps, and lock-ins. It's fully embedded into our bundles, so you can use it at scale. We're not trying to limit your usage. We really, really want you to use these new features. So if you are an Ardoq customer right now, please do talk to your CSM about getting enabled with the Ardoq AI features. If you are not an Ardoq customer right now, book a call with us. We would love to talk to you more about your AI strategy, how we can help. Our AI Lens governance solution specifically has been, a big interest of some of our prospects coming in. And that's it, I guess, we have for today. I wanted to see if we had any questions. So I'm going to open it up, see if we have any questions in the chat or in the Q&A. I'm going to invite back my co-hosts. Oh, a whole bunch of them have been answered. Are there any you want to talk about, Jason, out loud that were really interesting to you?
It was mostly very technical issues about where is the MCP server and how do we kick off the capability map. But yeah, I'd like to reiterate, we very much want your feedback about demand. We have so many different ideas about where to take AI. So please jump into the product board and let us know which ones you think we should focus on.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you check out the resources tab here, if you're live on the webinar right now, there is a resources tab, and that you can go straight to Ardoq Labs, which is our our AI Labs portal. You will see everything Jason and his team are experimenting, ideating on. There's a lot of content there about AI roadmaps and how the team is thinking about that stuff. Our AI roadmap is very customer driven. We are constantly in conversations with our customers about what will be useful to them, how to make the outputs more context aware. So definitely get involved there. Great. Well, if we don't have anything else, I can give everyone a little time back. We were very efficient, maybe because of AI, but we were very efficient today. Hopefully you enjoyed the content. Please stay tuned for next year because we will be having more webinar series like Illuminate coming up, and have a great holiday season. Thank you,
Super.
everyone.
Thank you.